back to Earstravagant Adventures. I'm your host, Rachel, and joining me for the first time is Katie. Hi, Katie.
Hi, hello.
Hello. We are here to whisk you away on another thrilling journey through the magical realms of Disney, Universal, and beyond. This week, we're talking about misconceptions people have for Universal Orlando, and it's perfectly timed because Katie just got back from Universal Orlando.
Yes, 2 weeks ago, we were at Portofino Bay. We did 6 nights, 5 park days, and we had a blast.
So perfect, fresh in your brain to bust all these misconceptions that people have. But first, thank you to our sponsor, Alonzi Travel, the ultimate family theme park experts. Planning theme park trips can be overwhelming, but Alonzi Travel is here to make it stress-free. With their years of experience, they're your fast path to hassle-free travel. They handle all the details, allowing you to focus on having fun with your loved ones. Whether you dream of Hogwarts or Disneyland, they've got it covered, tailoring the trip to your family's needs. Visit alonzi-travel.com/take the trip for a magical adventure.
Take the trip.
Take the trip. So before we dive into all these misconceptions that we have, why don't you really quickly give us your top 3 things that you did or experienced or whatever from your trip?
Number 1 is always Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure, Magical Creature Motorbike Adventure. It's just one of the best rides and attractions in Orlando. One of the best things that we did, it's always the best thing at Universal, is Hagrid's Magical Creature Motorbike Adventure.
Such a long name.
Yeah, it is so hard to say. Like, I always flub it up a little bit. We were chosen our very first park day to be the family of the day to open Universal Orlando.
That was
Universal
so cool.
Studios.
So cool.
That was fantastic. We got to read a little speech. They had the little movie ticker that the kids slammed, and it was so cool. And it put us at the very front of the crowd. And then let me see I'm trying to think of just really, really magical. Oh, we got to do the makeup horror show for the first time. We had never done that.
Oh,
that is so fun. It's
a good one.
So fun. So it's so hard to pick 3.
Those are good because I don't think, especially that one being the first family, a lot of people don't know about that, and it's super. It's like being chosen as the Grand Marshal at Walt Disney World. It's not like you get to just pick. So that's pretty cool. Did you get any special keepsake or anything for doing that?
Yes, they gave us a 5x7 photo, and the best part was they gave us a free ticket to skip the line on Hagrid's. So that day we rode Hagrid's twice.
That is key, man.
Worth it.
Skip the line at Hagrid's.
Yeah.
So lucky. So how old are your kids, to kind of give everyone a frame of reference for your trip?
10 and about to be 8 in 3 weeks. And they picked Universal. I did not pick Universal. They wanted to go to Universal, and they wanted to go for a full week because normally we just do a little split stay between Disney and Universal. And they were like, it's not enough. We need more days at Universal. We've never felt like they had never truly experienced it.
Okay. So how young were they when you took them for the first time?
6 and 8, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then that I'm leading into our first misconception is there's nothing for small kids to do. Now, are your kids aren't on the tall side, right?
No, my son is on the tall side, and my daughter, on our first trip, she was on the short side. She was just coming in at 48 inches, which is a key requirement at Universal. Most of their more grown-up, all the Harry Potter rides, come in at 48 inches. And so, but my daughter is a big weenie, and she will not do a lot of things, but there's still plenty for her to do. When we got to go DreamWorks Land, the brand new rethemed area at Universal Studios, was in technical rehearsal, and we got to go all through it and do everything in there, which was really, really cool because it wasn't crowded. I think a lot of people didn't realize it was open. And so, of course, she absolutely loved that. It was full of characters. We met Shrek, Fiona, Donkey, Kitty Whiskers from Puss in Boots. That's the girl from the latest Puss.
Okay.
Kitty Softpaws. I'm sorry. Her name is Kitty Softpaws.
Sure.
But there was also like all kinds of other characters we're going to be meeting there too. I'm sure that the trolls were going to come out. We didn't see them. There's the Troller Coaster, which is a family-friendly coaster. But the best thing I liked the most about it was there's an interactive kung fu lesson with Poe.
Oh, fun.
And like there was all these kids and they were stretching and learning kung fu moves. And because it's interactive, it was a lot like Turtle Talk with Crush, where he's like actually, you know, talking to the specific kids in the audience. And that was really, really fun.
Yeah. That I'm excited for the new land because it is more kid friendly. But honestly, I would say that for small kids, there's only maybe 8 rides between both of the parks that they can't do. Wouldn't you say? Kind of like all the ones with height requirements.
Yeah. I would say probably about 8.
I mean, it depends on your kids, of course, because I'm a big weenie, so there's a little bit less that I will do. But in general, it feels like there's less for small kids to do just because they have bigger roller coasters, but really they do have kid-friendly stuff. They have character meet and greets, they have shows, they have, not super intense rides. And this one makes me so mad. There is one ride that you can't ride as an adult unless you have a kid.
I've never gotten to ride it.
Wasn't it?
I've never gotten to ride it because it was down, and I don't remember why. I think the previous trips we've done to Universal, we had always gone around like Christmas time, and it was really crowded because I do not believe it takes Express Pass either. And so, so we've never rode it, and so I was like, yes, I'm going to get to do Pteranodon Flyers, and it was down. So
that's such a bummer.
But we did everything else, like Seuss Landing, everything. And one of the things that I realized this time, because my kids were a little bit older for this trip, is we sat in Seuss Landing and they just whittled all the rides without us. And I was like, central location, we're watching them. We kind of followed them from ride to ride.
I mean, that kind of goes with the other misconception that we have, is that it's only big, scary roller coasters. And I'm going to be honest, that was my first misconception of Universal. I didn't go for years until Harry Potter. And even with Harry Potter opening, I would kind of strictly stick to the Harry Potter areas because a lot of their rides are inside. And if I can't see it, I'm not taking my chances. It wasn't until we did the non-private VIP tour, game changer. First of all, it's not super expensive, to be perfectly honest. And we rode 15 attractions. So talk to your travel agent about it because it is worth its weight in gold for real. Because what this tour guide did, he explained every ride to us before we got on. So like Men in Black and Transformers. That is, funny enough, the exact same ride, just a different theme. So we rode Men in Black, and he said, I think he compared it to like a more intense version of Toy Story Midway Mania. Yeah. And I would say it's like Web Slingers over at California Adventure. But like, okay, I have a frame of reference for that. I'm totally fine on that ride. Then I'll be fine on this. So it was eye-opening. I think I rode triple the amount of rides because of that than I previously had before.
And one of the things with that is Universal does not allow live streaming and recording on the rides. That's a big thing. And so whereas somebody who wants to know what Disney rides are like, you can watch every live stream in the world showing you what the ride is. But Universal, there's like that little bit of mystery. There are ride POVs provided by Universal online. And I do recommend, especially like the Mummy. We watched the Mummy POV several times because my daughter does not do roller coasters in the dark, and she did it. She regretted it, but she did it. But like The roller coasters that are thrilling, they are very, very thrilling.
I will agree with that. If their thrill rides are true thrill rides that I won't ride.
I don't do inversions. I don't go upside down. I did on this last trip because I did Velocicoaster with my son because he begged and begged and begged. And even with me just doing the normal roller coasters, there's still so much to do. Even if you are not doing any roller coasters like my daughter, there's so much to do.
So technical difficulties, we got cut off, but we're going to start back up again. So here we go. We were talking about scary roller coasters, how there's a lot more to do than you think there is. And one of the easiest ways because like Katie was mentioning, there's not always ride through videos or, they're hard to find. So the non-private VIP tour is definitely what I would recommend for if you're worried about that, because you have a person that is their full-time job. They know the rides inwards, outwards, upside down, and they'll answer all your questions and then give you a frame of reference. So if you're worried about it, do that. Because on our VIP tour, like I said, we did 15 rides and I didn't do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I didn't do 6.
What were those 6?
Mummy.
Mm-hmm.
Harry Potter, because Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, because sometimes that gives me motion sickness.
Yeah.
I wasn't in the mood for that. Velocicoaster, Dr. Doom's Fall, which is the one that just drops you, and the Hulk.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny that you said 6 because technically there's 8 roller coasters at Universal and only 6 are considered thrill coasters. So you did one of the thrill coasters because you
they didn't do Rip Ride Rocket.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or they might have at the end, but that's definitely a never for me.
I will Rip Ride Rocket.
Yeah, Gringotts is considered a thrill ride, and I will do that one. Somebody asked me on one of my TikTok videos, they said that it had a really steep drop. I'm like, you know what? It does, but it's for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It holds you there. So like you feel like it's going to be really steep, but it's not, and it's over super, super fast. So really, some of these rides, like even if you're scared of them, you'll be okay.
Yes. Yeah. I agree. Because Gringotts feels more to me like a dark ride with like a fourth of a roller coaster. Like, 3/4 dark ride with a fourth of a roller coaster. And it's
totally
amazing.
Agree. The third time that I rode it, I super clicked because I'm like, okay, there's more screens in this than there is roller coaster time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
but that kind of goes into when we start talking about the thrill rides and everything like that. One of the big things about plus friendly versus not plus friendly.
Yes.
And I have personal experience with this. Some of our trips, I have not been able to ride a lot of the rides at Universal. Just because more of the thrill rides are not made to fit everybody's shape. On our last trip, I was able to get on everything, which I believe Forbidden Journey was the trip before this was the one that I could not get on. My husband, he does not fit on most things. And so, but is there still plenty for him to do? Does he still, because like I said, the kids and my husband were the ones who requested this trip, because there's so much more stuff for them to do other than the rides that you don't fit on. But that is something that people need to be aware of, is that the rides are just not body inclusive.
Well, and when we say rides, I think we're specifically talking about thrill rides though.
Yes. Let's see. Some that I can name off the top of my head: Velocicoaster, Hagrid's, Hulk, Forbidden Journey, and Gringotts. Those are the 5 that we as a family seem to have the most trouble with.
Yeah, I would agree with that because Joe, he's same. He rode Rip Ride Rocket. I think he rode the Hulk, but Forbidden Journey is very much about your chest. So if you have a broad chest, that's an issue. Hagrid's though, it depends on your build. Hagrid's most plus size can fit on the motorcycle. It's your legs. That's
It's
the issue.
legs. Yeah, my husband has like big muscular calves, and that is where he gets, and we don't know if he'll ever be able to, even with this weight loss journey that we're on and everything, because, the muscle's not going to go away in his legs.
Right.
So
and that's what holds some people back from Hagrid's, because the seat itself, if you're on the motorcycle, it fits a lot more people. It's the legs there. And then Velocicoaster, the seat is from my knowledge kind of narrow, so even if you have like big hips, you squashed.
For Velocicoaster and for the Hulk, the seat is very narrow.
Okay. And I mean, this is safety. So, you need to be secure in these roller coasters. So, safety first, of course, but we would be remiss if we didn't acknowledge that, yes, there are some rides at Universal that are not plus size friendly. That is true. However, if you are concerned about it, they do have test seats and you can sit in the test seat. Some of the rides even have modified seats. So like at Gringotts, the back row has a little bit more capacity. So if like you don't fit in the standard seat, you can try the seat in the back. It is embarrassing though, because it's happened to my husband twice on Gringotts and on Forbidden Journey. They put he didn't fit in the regular seat. They put him in the modified seat. And these cast members, man, they will do their darndest to try and get you to fit.
They will.
But it is embarrassing. And if you didn't try the test seat, try the test seat. If you're concerned about it at all,
can I do a little PSA right now for anyone? The test seats are not for your kids to play in. They are not for your kids to have a photo op in, and they're most certainly not for you to eat your lunch in. It's already pretty, nerve-wracking to have to go up and use the test seat. And when I have to tell people to move out of the test seat so my husband can use it, that's even worse.
I would rather that though than on the attraction.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. There's a lot of discussion in the Universal community about continuing onto the ride and trying on the ride. That is something that we've never done. Like if we don't fit in the test seat, we're not going to try on the ride, because number one, the disappointment to our children at that point, and people are watching, and we just don't want to do that.
And you could always, because we'll move on, but this is a huge point with people, and I just want to make sure we get it clear. You could do that, if you don't sit in the test seat and you want to stay in line with your family, you could do that. And then once you get up there, if you're like, no, I actually don't want to do this, head into the family room. That's what they're there for.
And I'm glad you said that, because my husband this time on this trip, because he was taking photos and he wanted to see the inside of the queues because they are so themed. So amazing. Universal does such a good job with their ride queues. And he came all the way up to like the pre-show with us. In fact, I think he even went into the pre-show at Gringotts. And then when we got to like the stairs, they were like, you can exit over here, sir. So especially with Forbidden Journey, like if you want to go inside and see the castle, you can still see the castle even if you can't sit on the ride. That
queue is so good. It is. And if the bummer with express passes, you miss most of the queue, but the queue at Forbidden Journey is so good. But if you are like, because I'll do this with Forbidden Journey, or not Forbidden Journey, but some of the rides, like I'm like, maybe, and then we get up there and I'm like, no, I can't do this today.
Well, and that's what the chicken door is for.
The chicken door at Disney is way more humiliating. At least at Universal, like it's called the family room, and there's lots of other people in there, and it's right there. You don't have to feel like a chicken at Universal. I much prefer the family room. Which I think that also goes into our point, which the next one is, it's not as family friendly as Disney. I would argue that those family rooms are better than Disney, because you are, first of all, inside in the air conditioned at the entrance and exit to the ride. So whether you're doing a child swap or whether you're just not feeling the ride, you're right there. You don't have to wait outside. You're right there.
Yes. Yeah. And I wish my husband would have utilized that more, because he chose to not go through the queue a lot and to go exploring, and I would lose him. And one of the
Hate
things
that.
about Universal is a lot of the rides you can't take bags on. And so
Mhm.
sometimes I would come out and I wouldn't have my phone. And so eventually what we started doing was I wore his Apple Watch onto the ride so I could call him and be like, where did you wander off to? Because there's so much to look at and to explore because Universal does such a great job with their immersion theming in these lands.
Especially the Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah, it's the best. Absolutely the best.
Like, we are both huge Harry Potter fans. I mean, Katie's got her Slytherin t-shirt on. I've got my generic wand waving shirt on, and that's just the tip of the iceberg for our Harry Potter love. So, y'all, you could easily spend an entire day just doing Harry Potter stuff. So, that's what, to me, it's very family friendly because between spells and shows and all that, you don't have to ride a single ride. But Universal is a movie company. As you mentioned, the makeup show, they have a dog show, they have a stunt show. Like, their shows are fantastic. I haven't seen the Bourne show. Did you guys watch it?
We did. The kids loved it. It was good. It was not what I was expecting. I thought it was more like a behind the scenes stunt show, but it was not. It was more like a theatrical production, which was really cool to see how they incorporated all these high tech moving sets with the stunts. So I mean, it was good. It just wasn't what I expected it to be.
See, that's what I'm expecting. Now I'm like really excited. I'm like, now I want to go see it because I love stunt shows. I was so pissed when they took Lights, Cars, Motors, Action out of Hollywood Studios. Stunt show. Yeah. But and lots of characters to meet. So what other things would you say is family friendly? Because I mean, another elephant in the room. Disney's going to be the pinnacle, in my opinion, of family friendly stuff, right?
Yes. Obviously, Disney is. But I think, like I keep talking about the theming of the lands really, lets your imagination run wild as a kid. So you go over to Seuss Landing and everything, even the trees are funny shaped, like actual living trees. And the stores, like Harry Potter, the Wizarding World, in Seuss Landing, like the theming in the stores and all the Easter eggs and all the stuff that you can see, it's just so cool to just pick out all this different stuff and look at it. We met so many characters. We met more characters because we are not a family that prioritizes characters when we're at Disney. We prioritize lightning lanes and rides. We met so many characters on that last day that we went to Universal Studios. Like, it was character after character after character. They were all just out with short lines, which was really, really cool. I'm trying to think of what else.
I mean, but that's a lot. Like, between the shows, between all the Harry Potter stuff, between the characters, between the family-friendly rides, it's just, goes back to our big scary roller coaster point. Like, people think that all of the rides are big scary, and they think that all there is to do is rides, and then they forget that Universal is a movie production company that has a theme park component. If you go to Universal Hollywood, you get to literally go on a backlot. It is a live working backlot. So, like, you forget, it's so good. But that's what they do. So you do yourself a disservice by not going to these shows and stuff because they're just really good. Like, the Halloween makeup show is
it's so good. It is so good. And somebody, a client actually asked me on a final itinerary review this week if it was scary. And I said, no, it had one jump scare, but it was hilarious. My kids laughed through the whole thing. It was so funny. They did such a good job. I was so impressed because they called someone randomly out of the audience, and the lady they called did not speak English. She only spoke Spanish. Okay. The two show hosts spoke to her in Spanish the whole time.
That's awesome.
Like, it was like amazing. I was like, look at them. Like, look at this. This is so good. So
now, you mentioned that you stayed at a Universal resort. So the next misconception is that there's not any place to stay on site, and there's not as many, but like the locations of their on-site resorts, superior.
Oh, it reminds me very much of Disneyland, where it's all smaller. A lot of them are in walking distance with these beautiful, the garden walk to the parks from the premier resorts. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Like, you forget that you're inside of a theme park. I love it so much. And the fact that you can walk to the parks is a game changer to me.
Yes. Or even if you're at one of the ultra value resorts and you're taking the bus, it's still a 5-minute bus ride.
Oh yeah, it's so quick. I think I timed it out one time because we did not walk from Portofino Bay because it was hot. And Portofino Bay is actually the premier resort that's the furthest from the parks. Royal Pacific and Hard Rock are closer. And I think it was less than 10 minutes from between when we got on the water taxi to go and we like scanned in with our tickets into the park.
That's really nice. I know when we walked from Royal Pacific to the entrance of Islands of Adventure, it was like 15 minutes to walk. And that's going through security and everything. So a 10-minute boat ride, and it's super, super fast, like, which makes it nice because you guys took breaks in the middle of the day during the summer heat.
We did. We had to. It was very hot, which is another thing that all of the resorts on site have super nice pools. So if you are going when it's hot and you need to come back, it's so quick to get back to the resort. And then you can take that break at the pool and cool off, rest a little bit, and then hop back on the transportation or walk back towards the parks. And you get there so fast because that 10-minute from water taxi to scan in, that is when we were coming back after a break. So that was like in the afternoon that it was 10 minutes.
Yeah, so there's 8 on-site resorts and they have a good mix of budgets. So kind of any budget you're looking for, Universal has a resort for you. Favorites for our clients is Cabana Bay and Royal Pacific. Those are kind of the sweet spot. Cabana Bay, because it's a really cool resort. It is a 2-minute walk to Volcano Bay, which we'll talk about. But it also is a really cool, it has a great pool. It has a lazy river. It has a bowling alley. Like, it is the best bang for the buck. And so is Royal.
It's family suites.
Oh yeah. It has family suites with the door. Fantastic. They're fantastic. And then Royal Pacific is the best value out of the premier resorts because it includes Express Pass Unlimited, which we will talk about. But it's also, like I said, within walking distance. The food on site isn't great. Let's just throw that out there. But
on site in the hotels or in the park?
All of the above, but specifically this hotel. Specifically this hotel, but it's super close to the parks. It's, got the taxi, it's within walking distance, and Express Pass Unlimited. So currently, I say currently because there's the new Epic Universe that's opening. There's going to be on-site hotels there too. So there's going to be more, but currently 3 more as of now. Yes, as of now. Well, let's talk about Express Pass really quick because we've mentioned it a couple times. This is and this goes kind of to that not plus size friendly thing. Like, it is kind of true that Express Pass is too expensive.
Yes.
So yes, if you buy it by itself.
We only stay, and you know this about me, we are a firm value resort people at Disney. We have a love affair with Pop Century. It just fits our family and where we are right now. But we only stay premier at Universal because of the Express Pass. Like, we are not going unless we have the Express Pass, and we're also not going to add it onto our tickets because what are we talking, like upwards of $200 a day extra sometimes, depending on the crowd.
It's date-based and demand-based, so it could be anywhere from $150 to $300. It just depends. So Express Pass, first of all, if you haven't watched our previous videos on this, Express Pass is Universal's Skip the Line. Most of their rides are included on it. The Express Pass that I'm mentioning, the $150 to $300, that gives you one Skip the Line per attraction. The one that's included with the premier resorts is unlimited. So you could ride Velocicoaster back to back to back to back to back.
Yep, you could.
One of the reasons I think it's more expensive is because you don't have to do a return time like you do with Disney. So Genie Plus, if you're familiar, you have return times. You can only get one at a time. Express Pass, you can use it whenever you want, wherever you want, as long as it's accepted.
And it's kind of like a no planning thing. You know, at Disney, you have the element where you're on your phone, and at Universal, you're on your phone, but you're really only looking at wait times.
Right.
And so if you see something with a wait time, you know, that you're like, oh, okay, you just walk on over there. You don't have to schedule it. You don't have to come back. And it really just makes it super, super easy. And the lines will get long. I think that's it's not on our list, but that is a misconception that people do not realize that Universal is busy. It can be just as busy at Disney, especially at, you know, peak travel times.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like a Legoland. All right. People like Universal.
Yeah.
But the Express Pass at the hotels, it's included for every day of your stay. So the initial price point difference can be a little bit jarring, but if you're going to spend 4 days at Universal, you're actually saving a ton of money because you have every day Express Pass Unlimited. Whereas, like we said, it could start at, let's just say 180 for Express Pass Unlimited. Let's 100 per person.
Per person. Yeah.
Per day.
For a day. Yeah. That's it. I think that I have done for a peak season a price quote where the non-private VIP tour was the better option than adding the Express Pass, because the Express Pass was going to be so expensive for this group.
Well, yeah, and that's another way you actually get Express Pass Unlimited is the non-private VIP tour. It's amazing. It includes breakfast, lunch, valet parking if you valet park, and then Express Pass Unlimited for the rest of the day after your tour, plus 20% off merchandise. And during the tour, it's not the Express Pass line. It is true skip the line. So when you're on the tour, they will take you through the exits and take you to the front of the ride.
The amount of times, not on this last trip, but when we went around Christmas time, that the private or non-private people skipped me on the Hogwarts Express, and I was getting so aggravated because I just wanted to park hop and get back over to Islands of Adventure. And I'm telling you, 4 or 5 VIP groups skipped us, and I'm like, I just want to get on.
And I'll say it's about it depends on when, but I would say like $350 a person, which when you include Express Pass, the meals plus, like I do feel like it's worth it, at least for one day. But yes, Express Pass on its own is expensive. But when you're staying at a premier resort and you get it basically for free, it's amazing.
For free, and you have, you know, all 3 of the premier resorts are in walking distance. They all have the water taxi. They all have, you know, like it's almost like at this point, why do you not? You know, and you know that I'm a huge promoter of moderate and value resorts at Disney, but like it doesn't make any sense at Universal.
Exactly. Especially if you're going for, that's your trip. Universal is your trip. Yeah. You need to do that. So speaking of, a big misconception is you only need 1 day to see everything.
You only need 1 day to see the Wizarding World. That's it. That's all you're going to get done in that 1 day.
That is all you're going to get.
That's it. I tell people that all the time. They're like, we want to add 1 day from our Disney trip. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. You want to go to the Wizarding World? Fine. Like, we can do that. But if you want to experience anything else, you're going to need more days.
You're going to need more days. I would say 2 days is tight. 3 days is nice, because then you can, your first day you can run around like crazy and see things. The second day you can pick up what you missed, and then the third day you can see your favorites.
Agreed. And that, you know, and actually 4 days because of
Volcano Bay.
We'll get there in a minute when we talk about Volcano Bay, which is my new love.
Yes. So I mean, you can't do everything in 1 day. Absolutely not. I did have someone ask me, well, can I do Universal Studios in 1 day? If you get Express Pass, yes.
Yes, with Express Pass, yes, but I still think that you're going to miss things, you know.
You're going to miss so much. Yes.
Because so me personally, I can spend a couple of hours in Diagon Alley because it's my favorite place in the world, probably.
Yes.
Like, it's just,
I'm not going to say in the world. I'm going to say in Orlando, but.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I love it so much.
It's It is pretty great. But yeah, you can get lost casting spells,
Yeah.
going in the shops, having a bite to eat, watching the shows that they have there. Like one day is not enough. We do not recommend one day. If it's all you have, we'll make the most of it, but we would love to see you do more than one day so you can get the most out of it and not be super stressed. With that being said, I have only one time had sold a non-park to park ticket, but I know a lot of people
Never
have a misconception that you do not need a park to park ticket, and that is so false.
It's the parks are literally about a 3 to 5 minute, if that. I mean, walking slow.
No, I would say it's like an 8-minute walk between the two.
Really?
Yes, you are must be power walking.
Always. I'm in a theme park. I'm going fast. I'm got to get everything done. But they are so close together, and you really want to experience both of them together, especially if your priority, and most of the people that reach out to me, their priority is the Wizarding World. They're like, we want to see the Wizarding World and everything else, kind of, push everything to the side. You have to have that park to park ticket, number one, so you can do it the correct way and follow Harry's journey from Diagon Alley to Hogsmeade. Yes. You cannot do that unless you have a park to park ticket, because you can't ride the Hogwarts Express without a park to park.
I love the Hogwarts Express. I think it's the coolest thing when it pulls in with a little steam coming out of it. You sit in a train car. They have a little show, which is different each way. And it's so dang immersive. Like, plus you walk through
platform.
You walk through platform 9 3/4.
Yes.
It's magic. So you need to have a park to park ticket aside from the Harry Potter stuff. Especially if it rains, having a park to park ticket is really big. I feel like Universal Studios has more indoor attractions than Islands of Adventure. So if it's raining and you're in Islands of Adventure, you can pop over to Universal Studios and ride the indoor stuff. Also, Universal Studios tends to close around like 6 or 7. Yes. Islands of Adventure will stay open until 8 or 9.
Yes.
So you want to maximize your day, you need the park to park ticket, and it's not that much more. I would say maybe like $40 more.
I don't know off the top of my head, but I know it's not much.
Yeah, it's not much. And to have the flexibility to do all of this stuff, like I said, I've only sold a non-park to park ticket one time, and they were adamant that they only wanted to go to Universal Studios. And
was it one day?
Yes, it was one day at Universal Studios, and she was very specific on the things she wanted to accomplish. So I said, okay, cool, that's fine. Yeah. But everyone else, you got to have a park to park ticket.
Yeah, I don't think that I have ever had someone get a non-park to park ticket.
It just doesn't make sense to me. Yeah.
And now I have to have a 3-park ticket, where I never had a 3-park ticket before.
Because you cannot skip Volcano Bay unless it's in the winter.
No. Yes, in the winter, maybe. But if you are going in any of the months that are even semi-warm, you have to go to Volcano Bay.
What is Volcano Bay?
Volcano Bay is the water park. I don't even know if you could call it a water park. It's like
they call it a water theme park.
Oh, that's exactly what it is. It's a water theme park, like at Universal, and it is so immersive. The theming, like you're literally right next to the interstate, and you forget that you are in Florida, right next to the interstate. Like, you feel like you have been transported to a tropical island. It is incredible.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I was in Hawaii. I mean, something is so simple as the pathways that are around. Like, they're not your nasty scratch your feet up concrete. They're like smooth rock type with the water jets. Sprayers. Yeah.
Oh gosh, the water jets on the concrete to get the sand off of your feet, or to just cool off your feet. Oh my gosh, that's just top tier right there.
It's the stupidest little things, like, but burning your feet while you're walking to and from water slides is the worst. And Universal thought to put not jets like you're gonna be knocked over, but enough that it feels nice. Water that is at foot level to keep the sidewalks nice and cool. wash your feet off. There's shade everywhere.
Everywhere. And so much seating. There was so much seating.
Yes.
Just tons and tons of seating, especially like even in like little alcoves where there like wasn't really anything happening there. So it was very secluded seating also.
Yes.
Instead of just a bunch of chairs parked in front of a pool on concrete.
Right. And even in front of the volcano, because there is a volcano, love it. It's all sandy. And it's zero entry into the wave pool, but there's sand there. So you're not on top of concrete getting blasted from the hot concrete. It's shaded. There's sand. Like, But you guys did, and umbrellas. You guys did all of the water slides, right?
We did not do all of the water slides. We did a lot of them. We did the Krakatoa water coaster. That was the very first thing we did. That was incredible. Did you do that?
No.
No.
So, I need somebody to do them first and tell me how scary it is. And I was by myself.
Scary. It was not scary. It was really, really fun. Now, my daughter, who is a weenie, she was in the front because obviously the bigger person has to go on the back.
Yep.
And she said that she got some air, but basically it is a water coaster. You are in a 2 to 4 person tube. They divided us up because this was another thing I loved about Volcano Bay. They have very discreet weight scales when you go up to get on the ride. And they are checking for 2 things. If you have enough weight in your party to get onto the tubes, or if you're over the weight limit. So when the 4 of us were on there, we were over the weight limit for some of them. They didn't make a big deal about it. They just divided us up 2 and 2. And we went on about our business. There was no, like, people couldn't tell what was happening. And it was cool. Really, really nice.
Yeah.
So, but it is a water coaster and you will literally go up in the tube and down in the tube.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
It's so much fun. But she said that when we would go up and over, she was getting some air and she didn't care for it. But my husband, my son, and I, we all loved it. It was amazing.
And they have quite a few water slides. The food there was actually really good. That was one place I had a barbecue sandwich. I really liked it. The only note, and we should do a whole episode on Volcano Bay because there's so much to talk about. Yes,
we should.
The only annoyance for me for Volcano Bay was that you had to rent towels. And I came from a hotel and I should have used my brain, but I didn't. I should have brought towels with me and I didn't. And then I have to rent a towel. I said, I'm not paying $10 for it or however much it was for a towel. No.
Even though you had told me this beforehand, I had forgotten to go get towels from the resort. And so one of the things that we did, which I do recommend, like I said, there was plenty of seating, but because we went straight to the aqua coaster because of the tapu, which I'll get into that in a minute. Well, maybe we'll just wait.
No, we'll have to wait because there's so much. We will do a whole nother episode on it.
We got the reserve seating. And so I think it was like $124. I got 2 loungers, 2 like beach chairs, low to the ground beach chairs, and 4 towels in a reserved private area that no one else could come in. And it was literally like like the lazy river was there, the volcano was there, the wave pool was there. And so like the kids got a little bit of like autonomy, like they could walk just a little bit away from us and we could still see them. It was fantastic. I don't normally splurge on stuff like that, but I did. I will now do it every time.
Well, that price isn't bad for everything you just said and the location and everything. That's not a bad price for that. Yeah. So I think that's all the misconceptions that, I mean, I'm sure there's more, but those are the big ones that we get asked often, especially like, that's why we wanted to end on Volcano Bay because it really still, I think is like a hidden gem because it's just so great. Not enough people talk about it. And it's perfect because it's so hot right now. You need to have that 3 park to park ticket. So in the middle of the day, throw on your swimsuits and go to Volcano Bay. Just go cool off. It's too hot. It is too dang hot.
Not me getting ready to go to Walt Disney World.
RIP you. It's going to be too hot. But just a reminder for you guys, make sure you reach out to your favorite travel agent at Alonzi Travel, and they can talk to you way more. Katie and I are one, obviously, but way more about any questions you have about Universal. We go often, so we can stay up to date on all this information for you. So head over to alonzi-travel.com/take the trip so we can make a custom vacation plan for you. Until then, have a great day, and we will talk with you soon. Bye.
Bye.